Started. Hi, yo. Yes, sir. Something to break down. Too close. Too close. Oh, shit. Hi. Broke down. Me telling me I am finished with you. Come look my eyes. You killing me alive. That's not Batman. Wanted was you. Oh, try to be someone else. Nothing seems to change. I know now. This is who I really am inside. Finally found myself. Fighting for a chance to no, this is who I really am. Yes, Cerritos. That's it. That's it. Someone mentioned the dudes 30 days, 30 days, 30 ways, 30 seconds to Mars, and that's been stuck in my head for a while now. But enough about those 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beautiful weekend. I'm not gonna tell you what day it is because that's irrelevant. But what I will tell you is that behind me, allegedly, there is something that has hit the mainstream. Let's call it the mainstream because we have had a interesting evening here, ladies and gentlemen. It's true. We had heard that amongst this whole streaming shit, you know, we have so many HBOs, Amazon, Disney, fucking Netflix, any other shit, Paramount, Peacock, all that fucking high dive, chiller, thriller, diller, and yeah, it's really annoying. It's really annoying because, for example, someone like me who really enjoys good ass movies, quality movies, or stuff that's like animated, or at least something like a high budget production like The Last of Us, is something that I have always wanted to watch but have not been able to because it's fucking soft locked over in HBO or Max or HP bullshit, whatever fucking shit they're gonna rename it again to. There's so many streaming platforms, and sure, you can be the person to be like, oh, I'll just pay for all of them, and I can live my life like that and all like that. But then we get into a different situation. We have seen a lot of these streaming service really kind of try to provide their own values, their own benefits, their own productions, their own originals, you know, YouTube originals, freaking Hulu originals, all this bullshit. You know, everyone just wants to have the thing, the piece of the pie. Everybody wants to make sure that their IP will continue to keep on generating revenue for the next years to come. And that's where things get a little tricky because we all know, let's just say it this way. You either live long enough to die a hero, or sorry, you either live to die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. That part. And that's where we're at, in my opinion, current state of things. Again, I'm not saying that there's not good projects. You know, we're coming off of something like, I don't want to jump over to Prime yet, but something like on the Netflix side, what are they producing? Arcane. Something on the HBO side, they have Shogun. Oh no, that was Hulu. Never mind. Shogun was on Hulu. So, and Bear's on Hulu. Good shit. And we have had so like HBO stuff like The Walking Dead, The Last of Us, and all those Warner Brother films that have been coming out. And it gets really weird because you want to hope that, for example, if Disney comes out yesterday and you go like, hey guys, we're gonna make a new Tron movie, What does that mean to you? What does that do for you? Do you even know what Tron is? No, but it's the idea that like everybody has a certain type of vision of what they think they should be producing, or what they think the people want, or what they think is gonna make them money, right? We're in those lanes of like deciding that. And when someone as a corporation decides that, you know what, we can maximize our profits by stretching this product to the X level, maybe making it a little bit, maybe stretching it a bit too far to the point where the continuity does not make sense anymore, or maybe stretching it too far where the character doesn't feel the same anymore, or maybe stretching it too far or pushing it too far to a level where it's not the same spirit anymore. Spirit of vengeance. Hey. And that's why I wanted to come here today. Possibly getting my ass handed to me by whatever may be happening behind me. But that is irrelevant for the moment because actually is relevant. The reason is there's because I want us to see how well designed it is. And I can't show everything obviously, but from how alike it feels like to an older generation, an older time, it but with modern technology. It's almost like a time capsule that has been published for us to kind of re-examine and reevaluate and realign ourselves with the idea of what is. What if? No, what is? And that's what I want to talk about today. Because originally, when Amazon announced they were going to be doing a Batman animated series, obviously everybody was kind of thinking about the original animated series. I'm someone that didn't really get to see much of that original series, but I do have references and memories of those moments or those cartoons or the Justice League series, and just the style, the simple artistic style for those cartoons at that era is so iconic that really just seeing how these character designs were made is so crazy to think about how good we can still make these things. I think about Disney Plus has X-Men 97. I'm thinking about how X-Men 97 and Marvel Animation Studios, Marvel Animation did something similar with X-Men 97, how they took that art style and that old school art style and modernized it. But even then, I feel like X-Men still had that CGI cell 3D animated cell shaded look to it. So it really did give it a difference. It looks a lot different than a hand drawn episode from the original X-Men cartoons. I keep on wanting to say comics. Cartoons. From what I can remember, because again, this is Batman the original series was like in the 80s or the 90s. That is around my time, before my time. But just the idea, or just the images, the visions, the silhouette of Batman freaking either standing on the porch on the rooftop or freaking, booking it to or doing the dive or whatever. These are iconic images, right? And that's for someone who doesn't have doesn't have that great of a memory to be like, oh yeah, I remember that series. I remember that series. I remember what happened in that show. But aside from that, right, we have a team that took a Warner Brothers paid for a Warner Brothers property It's still being produced by Warner Brothers. You have Matt Reeves, you have the, oh, it's over, the other homies helping out with the show, and it's, thank you, commercials, and it's cool because that's what I was thinking, and it's cool because it's cool because it really goes to show how well. Oh, I was doing that. It's gonna do the camera. It's gonna do it anyway though. Okay, 70 seconds. Oh, what's a panda? I think people like pandas. Uh, because it shows how well thought out that idea was. Whether they're trying to copy an old school art style, or maybe someone might not want to give it as much credit or something because maybe they're just copying whatever the other person did. But it's when you see how these characters move, how well animated, how their facial expressions make those micro movements, even though you can't necessarily see or zoom into that face, you can tell that when somebody said something, somebody's eyes darted to like a quick second, and that's enough physical storytelling or body language to give you an interpretation of what is being felt, right? And that's the shit right there that really makes this complete, because not only do we have people who are really trying to respect that original artistic style, we also have people who are advancing that artistic style, which looks identical. It's not necessarily cel shaded, but it took rigorous work to make it look as well as that looks, because they look fucking great. Um, and last but not least, the characters, the writing, the story that is being told in this series. Because for all considered purposes, Batman the Cape Crusader is supposed to be a prequel to the Batman series, I believe is how we're doing this. He's a very young Batman. He is very brash, very serious, very one-sided tracked, very narrow-minded individual, because he's doing this from the beginning. um I cannot really express how much a characteristic of when when people announce that they're gonna take an iconic property and they're gonna do something with it, whether it be a movie project, whether it be a video game, whether it be fucking, I don't know, like a comic series, Naruto X Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's fucking. We want these things to make sense, to stay in line with the person or the character that we have created in our minds. Uh, Maybe that's something out of respect. Maybe that's something of a misplaced idolicism. But there is a want, right? I think the want is the people want to be seen in terms of this story is going for an angle, and we're all gonna believe in that angle, and we're gonna do our damn best to talk about this angle and tell us something new, tell us something different, a different way of expressing something, a lore, a legend. So for my final note, right, we have animation, we have bombastic animation, amazing animation, we have the smoothness, right, the creativity is in the works. All these scenes are inspired. There's a few specific pan scenes in specific moments that you can tell that this shit was meant to be a desktop wallpaper, or this shit was meant to be a fucking poster in some corner, or an art piece in a museum. There is so much inspiration in the story that they're trying to tell, and it comes through simply through the art. It's incredibly well done art, and the fact that it is a older style of art, or like drawing style, but it just looks beautiful. And in this time, there's no disappointment to this. Like, the facial structures, the lining, the friggin' hair. It looks so old school, but it is crispy as fuck, right? Damn, it it blows my mind that we can still do shit like that, and it blows my mind that in a year where things are a little bit rough, a little bit scarce, short staff, short roped, tight leashed, we still have productions that are here for a reason. They're there to prove a point. And my final point for the characters of this show is somewhere along the line where we became more accustomed to seeing these superheroes do their superhero y things against the villains, super villains. We got in a cycle where the only way we can kind of be interested is if we challenge the hero in a like, he's the hero, he there's no way he can lose, but here's this insurmountable odds stacked against the hero, and oh no, maybe this might be the one because the hero is only human or whatever. But somewhere along the lines, we stopped realizing that or thinking about that, and we started just focusing on the explosions, the action, the punches, the gunshots, right? To me, Batman has always been the story of, I would say man, but a child who was punished for being different, just different. And you could say that, poor kid had a pretty good beginning, right? But he got a little bit rocky that youngster age, in that orphan state. But there was always the idea that this human with emotions, who was clearly still is grieving, I think, is trying to make a difference, even if he knows that there is not much to fight with, to not much support to fight with. You have a yes, he's a billionaire, but you have a man who has dedicated the last 10, 15, I don't know the comic lore like that, years studying, training, honing his mind, his brain, his thoughts, his creativities, to be useful, to become an asset that would either bring peace or finally do something about the chaos that was taking his city. Flashback story. When sometime in high school, I remember I was taking a psychology class. It was like extracurricular shit after you finished all your other classes. You're like, oh, you can afford to take this class now since you've done all the basic, or not the basic, but like all the necessary credit requirements. And I was kind of a dick. I've always been a dick. I've always been more of a, what's the word? Outspoken individual, a difficult individual. Maybe it's not it's difficult in terms of like me not wanting, not necessarily meaning to be that way, but me understanding that the things that I do sometimes are a little bit off centered, and a normal human being can't keep up with that. Uh, so this one time we were doing group activities, and I think the question was to think of a person that you could either wanted to like oh, somebody that you looked up to, I think the trait specifically, or something along those lines. It was a person and like a psychological evaluation basically, just at the end of the day. And so me and my asshole friend, we were just, who was actually really cool, I was the asshole, who were just kind of like goofing around, I guess, just kind of having a good time, shooting the shit during class and all that, during this whole thing was happening. And but but then she calls on on our group, because I guess we were being a little too loud or whatever. And she's like, "Oh, the teacher." She's like, "Oh, so I'll drop his name because he's not around." He's like, "Michael, what did Stitch say he wanted to be?" And since we were talking the whole time, we're just like, in the moment where I was like, "Oh shit, oh, I didn't say anything. We didn't say anything." I was already like, "Don't trip." I was just like, "Tell her Batman." I was like, "Tell her Batman." And he just goes like, you chose Batman." The teacher was not laughing. Yeah, she skipped me, and she was like pretty salty about it, because I guess that was her last straw. But I sat there, for that moment, and I was like, why? Why Batman? And I thought about it. And aside from being a fucking millionaire, 'cause, amen, who doesn't want that shit? We have again, the person who I've always kind of envisioned in this role. Someone who is busting his ass to be useful, to help someone when there's no one to help. The goal of a child who lost love. And in his own twisted way, he tries to give that love back. But, his parents are gone. You not necessarily can't really give this offering to anybody, so where does that leave a billionaire, playboy, philanthropist? This show has really gone deep with what it means to be justice, to be with justice, to work with justice, to support justice. What is justice? What kind of justice? What is what do you define as judicial consent? What is the limit? Where is the line? And again, something that I have to really, really shout out to this production specifically. Again, I don't know if it's Amazon, I don't know if it's Matt Reeves, I don't know if it's Warner Brother Animation, really, that's making these decisions. But the fact that this show didn't go, "Oh, here's Joker. Oh, here's Mr. Freeze. Oh, here's Two-Face." Well, there's Two-Face, but don't worry about it. The fact that they don't go for the super fucking over bloated super villain trope in this. Yes, there are a couple of curious people who decide to take an extra step, and that requires Bruce slash Batman to step in and again analyze himself as he's doing his best to stop someone who is on the opposite side of the same coin that he is on. That fucking mental narrative, that mental state of trying to rationalize your actions is incredible to put in this specific storyline. You know, we have multiple moments of people questioning Bruce of why do you do this? Why are you pushing yourself? Who are you behind all this? Why do you exert yourself in a way that seems fake? Who are you trying to kid? What are you trying to hide? And that mentality with this man who is slowly learning to become the beacon of hope that this city needs. Because super huge shout out to this specific arc, or one of the traits for Bruce, without getting into too many spoilers or whatever. But we have a younger Bruce who is still figuring things out, who is still trying to understand himself, even if he doesn't want to accept it or admit these emotions or these thoughts or these motivations. He understands, there is an understanding that that thing is there, and to see how a series is not only investigating on how Bruce has to deal with these emotions in his day-to-day life as outside of the Batsuit, while also trying to figure out how far he needs to go in the Batsuit is one of my favorite aspects of this show. Because for the most part, I don't see Batman as the guy who beats the shit out of people just to beat the shit out of people. Yes, if you have a gun, he'll beat the shit out of you. But I've always been of the opinion that if Bruce were to see someone who was not okay or mentally suffering, he would make that the priority. The mental aspect of trying to figure out how to pull him out of that hole before it would be an idea of let's go send him to jail. Because at the end of the day, I think that is the purpose of the Batman. The boy trying to reach out to the mentally challenged in hopes to make them not have to feel the loss or the lack of love that he felt in his past. I just have to say that I am beyond impressed by how restrained the production or the producers were on the characters that were being introduced. You know, they could have easily gone like, no, we need the money. We need people to watch this. We need to throw Mr. Freeze. We need Mr. Penguin. We need all this shit. And sure, that would have been cool. That would have been interesting. I would have still probably liked it. I would have liked the animation or the fight scenes or whatever. But to go back to square one and to reintroduce or reevaluate what this man is trying to do, fuck. That's some good shit right there. That's some good shit. I respect the fuck out of that. So, if you are curious as to what a Batman is supposed to be, or what the idea of the mask is supposed to represent, I would recommend it. Yes, it is an old school styled cartoon, but I think in this current generation, we just have too much technology to not make those styles look beautiful. And clearly we can. Clearly it does look beautiful. So, you know, maybe we go back to to the 60s and we try it one more time, but hey, c'est la vie. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just really want to talk about it because I am really done with the whole, oh, superheroes gotta be Superman. Oh, we gotta fight everybody. Oh, He's the bad guy. Sure, it's fun, it's great, but we don't. Not everything has to be Hollywood, you know. We we can't have a story about a guy who's, trying to figure shit out, even in a very obtuse kind of way. But we can respect it because it's part of the job. So yeah, definitely check that out. I'm looking forward to a season 2. I do believe that they're gonna greenlight that. I'm gonna keep my ear to the ground to see what people are saying about this, but real talk, man, this is the shit, and I'm optimistic to how we move forward from here on out. We have James Gunn, who's in charge of the DCU right now, movies and stuff, and we're gonna have to see how he starts adapting to this new this new old era of old traditional values in the new age. That's what I'm looking forward to. So, with all that being said, yeah, man, just please, if you do have Amazon Prime, go just try it. Just check it out. Watch one episode. 30 minutes. Beautiful. I fucking hate 1 hour shows because I can't do an hour for a show. Your show is not that important. Except for you, Breaking Bad, or except for you, Better Call Saul. But yeah, man, that's where we're at. I'm happy. I'm glad. I'm very impressed by how well this was, how well produced this was. Again, in an era where people are scrambling to try to fucking scavenge up money and save up money and hoard as much as they can. Like, to see them take a step back and be like, no, do it right, and then we can get creative, is beautiful. So I'm looking forward to more stuff like this in the future. I know we have Ninja then we get the bullshit side of Batman, Ninja Batman, versus the Yakuza League, which I'm actually kind of interested in. And yeah, just all those Matt Reeves and what's just saying his name, James Gunn TCEU film projects that are being made. It's gonna be our future. And yeah, just recently we had D23 last night, and there was a lot of Marvel information that was being said over there. So we're officially back at it in terms of getting back into the superhero wars. But yeah, man, I just really hope that we take notes. I say we, but I mean Hollywood. Hollywood takes notes of what it means to write a character before what it means to write an IP fan service. How important I hope Hollywood takes notes as to how important it is to write a character before you write the fan service. That's it. So, with that being said, thank you for watching. If you guys watched it, please let me know. If you guys have seen it, please give me your opinions, because I really, really hope I'm not the only one who's like, whoa, Detective Batman, fuck yeah. While everyone else is being like, where the fuck is Joker, man? So I really hope that that's the case. I really hope that people will actually give this thing a chance and like promote it in a way that's like, no. That is a superhero. That is my hero. There goes my hero. Damn it. Watch him as he goes. Oh shit. Just happened. Oh, I'm done. I'm sorry, I should have just stopped. Yes, sir. There goes my hero. So, with that being said, have you guys seen the Batman? What did you think? Is Harley Quinn awesome? Oh shit, fuck. There's no Harley Quinn in this. I'm just kidding. I was just being funny. I said it and I felt bad about it afterwards. Just let me know what you think. And if we get past all this character building, would you be curious to see more of this detective character building where Batman is more focused on fighting the cops who are trying to take him down rather than fucking superhero powered mutants? Or are you itching at the seams to be like, nah, dude, give me that penguin, give me the penguin? So yeah, that's what I need to know. I need to know what people are thinking, and if you're okay with this type of material coming out, you know, material where we understand the character a bit more before we throw him punching someone. We understand the reason why he punches someone before he punches someone. I would hope. But hey, it's just a boy, EXP66 Stitch, wishing you an awesome afternoon. I'm gonna try to go watch. No, I still need to record one more thing, but I can like try to watch Borderlands maybe. But until then, hasta la próxima. Ciao. Bye.